As my primary target audience was originally parents aged 30 to 40, I sent out a questionnaire via SurveyMonkey to get my target audience's opinion on the basic aspects of my film, which I would then put together as a whole. Using SurveyMonkey, and therefore being able to send the questionnaire to my target audience online, was very effective, as I managed to get around 40 members of my target audience to answer the questionnaire. This is far more responses than I would have been able to get if I had physically handed out copies to people. The answers I received from the questionnaire allowed me to build the basis of my film, which would ultimately appeal to my target audience, as the decisions I made were strongly influenced by the answers they gave me. I also received audience feedback from my peers on the first edit of my short film. This was particularly useful, as although they are not members of my target audience, they are able to critique the film from a technical perspective, which my target audience are unable to do. Therefore, they were able to give me improvements about location and sound, which was very useful, and I was then able to make these alterations to my film. Moreover, one of my classmates pointed out to me how there was a lack of continuity when Ruby turned the light off as she went to bed, as the light was turned off and the screen appeared to darken. However, when she then got into bed, the room still appeared to be light. Therefore, this shows how important it is to gain audience feedback from others, as they are looking at your work with a new pair of eyes, and as I would have watched my film so many times, small issues like this might have not been clear to me. Due to the feedback I received, I then decided my film would best suit children aged 8 to 10 as my target audience, as the protagonist in my film could be relatable to them, and also the narrative of my film was quite childish, but still displayed a clear moral undertone. So I decided my primary target audience would be children aged 8 to 10, and my secondary target audience would be parents aged 30 to 40. Therefore, the previous audience feedback I had received was still relevant and very useful. As I have two younger siblings who fit into my target audience, it was useful to consistently get their opinions on my ideas as I was going along. Moreover, I was able to get feedback from a group of their friends. I asked my target audience which layout of 3 sketches of my film poster they liked the most. The common feature which all of them seemed to like was the idea of replicating a comic book. Moreover, the second poster chosen had Ruby as the main image of the poster, thus taking up the majority of the poster, which is something I found conventional of film posters that are a similar genre to my own. This significantly influenced my decision when taking the images of my film poster. Another key part of both the film poster and the short film is the title. As I wanted my film to be strongly influenced by comic books, I wanted my title to represent this. Therefore, after looking onto font, I eventually decided on 3 possible fonts. I showed these fonts to 10 of my target audience and asked them to explain which font they preferred. I then used this information and used the chosen font in my short film. I found a very effective method of gaining audience feedback was interviewing them. Although gaining feedback through questionnaires was effective, as it meant I was able to gain precise answers, I found it extremely effective to record my target audiences answering my questions. This meant they were able to give me a more detailed answer which I could then discuss with them, so I could thoroughly understand what they were trying to say. I decided to use this method of gaining audience feedback when asking my target audience what they thought the ending of my film should be, as this was something I was very unsure about. They all gave me very creative responses, and some which were unachievable, as I would not have been able to create a storm to end my film. However, all of the responses eventually ended with the bully and the victim becoming friends. Therefore, I took this into consideration and made sure my ending had a positive outcome.